All right, so ready to ditch these winter blues. Let's take a deep dive into some January travel destinations that are really going to make you want to get out there.
Yeah, and I think you're really going to like what we found. We've put together like the top 10 places you should go in January. And it's got a little bit of everything. We're talking cities, we're talking beaches, we're talking snow, sun, like you name it, they got it.
Okay, I'm already sold. Sign me up. Especially if it means I can escape January for a bit.
Well, then I think we should kick things off by heading down under, down to Melbourne, Australia. It's summertime there in January.
Oh, summer in January. Okay, you've got my attention. But what makes Melbourne so special this time of year besides, just the nice weather?
Okay, well, picture this. You're strolling through these like vibrant little laneways, right? And there are cafes like everywhere.
Sounds right up my alley.
And the smell of coffee, Melbourne's coffee scene, it's the whole world unto itself.
Okay, now that's what I call a vacation perk.
Forget Starbucks. You're going to find these independent cafes all over the place. Each one is so unique. They're all about, like crafting that perfect cup of coffee.
So it's not just about the coffee, right? What else is going on in Melbourne in January that makes it a must visit?
Well, think about this. You've got these outdoor markets that are just overflowing with local crafts. You've got fresh produce. You've got rooftop bars. There are festivals. Everything is just, buzzing with energy in January. Melbourne really comes alive this time of year.
I'm feeling that energy already. So Melbourne is definitely going on the list. But I'm also the kind of person who loves, a completely different kind of escape in January. Something a little more, well, how do I put this, icy.
Okay, well, if you're looking for a truly a breathtaking winter experience, I think you got to check out Iceland. Imagine a world where everything is covered in snow, like frozen waterfalls that are just glistening under the northern lights, these geothermal pools that are steaming. It's amazing.
Iceland in January. That sounds truly magical. But I've got to be honest, I'm a bit of a wimp when it comes to, the cold. How cold are we talking here?
Well, it's going to be brisk. You're looking at, 20 to 35 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay, that's doable.
But it's worth it, trust me. The beauty of Iceland in winter is like nothing you've ever seen. You can soak in the Blue Lagoon, and it's surrounded by these snow-dusted lava rocks, and then you've got the northern lights dancing overhead.
All right, you've convinced me. Iceland it is. Now, I always love finding those destinations that offer a mix of, natural beauty and cultural experiences. Where should we go next?
Well, speaking of unique experiences, have you ever heard of the Mekong Delta in Vietnam? January is like the perfect time to explore this.
Like the Mekong Delta. Yeah, I've seen pictures of those incredible floating markets. But what makes January such a good time to visit?
It's the weather. January brings warm, dry weather to the Mekong Delta. You can cruise through all the canals, explore traditional villages, and, really immerse yourself in the culture.
Okay, I'm already picturing myself on a boat, sipping Vietnamese coffee and just watching life on the river go by. But now I'm ready for something a little more wild and adventurous.
All right, so if you want contrast, how about we trade those lush green landscapes for a world of pristine white? Yellowstone National Park in January is a whole different world.
Yellowstone in winter? And I've only ever been in the summer. What's so special about it when it snows?
Well, imagine this. You're going to see bison and elk, and they're against this backdrop of snow-covered forests. You might even spot some wolves on the hunt. And the geysers are something else when they erupt against the frosty sky. It's just a completely different experience from visiting in the summer.
Wow, you really painted a picture there. I can almost feel the crisp mountain air and hear the snow crunching under my boots. Yellowstone definitely has a certain mystique in wintertime. So we've explored the city life of Melbourne, the icy beauty of Iceland, the vibrant waterways of the Mekong Delta, and now the snowy wilderness of Yellowstone. I'm sensing a bit of a theme here. Exactly. So where to next? I'm ready for more.
Oh, we've got plenty more. January travel is all about embracing, all the different things this month has to offer. So let's keep this adventure going. Okay, so next up, I think we should head to Zanzibar. Picture white sand beaches, crystal clear turquoise waters, those iconic swaying palm trees. It's like, the ultimate escape from winter.
Zanzibar, that's definitely one of those bucket list destinations for me. But why January? What makes it so special this time of year?
January is right in the middle of their dry season, so you're pretty much guaranteed sunshine and those perfect warm temperatures.
Okay, that's already selling me.
Yeah, you can lounge on the beach all day, snorkel those vibrant coral reefs. Plus, you'll avoid all that humidity and the rain that comes later in the year.
That sounds pretty idyllic. But Zanzibar is more than just beaches, right? What else is there to see and do?
Oh, absolutely. You gotta check out Stone Town. It's like this maze of narrow, winding streets, bustling markets, historic buildings, and the aroma of spices is just everywhere.
Oh, Spice Tour. That I can get behind. I love those sensory travel experiences. So we've had our dose of sunshine and relaxation. I think I'm ready for a little bit of a city adventure now. What's next on our list?
Well, if it's a city you're after, why don't we trade in those laid-back island vibes for the, electric energy of Tokyo? January is a really unique time to experience Tokyo because it's not as crowded.
Tokyo in January. I'm intrigued. What makes it different from, say, visiting during, peak season?
Well, the weather. It's crisp and cool, perfect for, exploring all the different neighborhoods and parks.
Yeah, I hate feeling sweaty when I'm trying to sightsee.
Right. And you can get to see those iconic sites like the Shibuya Crossing, the Sensoji Temple, without being, surrounded by a million tourists.
So I can really just soak it all in and experience the city. Are there any, special events or anything happening in January in Tokyo?
You might be lucky enough to catch Hatsumode, which is like their traditional first shrine visit of the new year.
Oh, wow. That sounds really interesting. I'd love to experience something like that. Okay, Tokyo in January is sounding better and better. So let's see, we've got Australia, Iceland, Vietnam, Yellowstone, Zanzibar, and Tokyo. Where to next?
Okay, let's stick with this theme of cultural immersion. How about we hop over to Penang Island in Malaysia? It's known for this incredible fusion of Malay, Chinese, and Indian influences, which you see everywhere.
Penang Island. I've heard it called the Pearl of the Orient. What makes it a must-visit in January?
Well, January brings warm and sunny weather, which is ideal for exploring everything the island has to offer. You can wander through Georgetown, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, sample all the delicious street food, or just relax on the beaches of Batu Ferringhi.
It sounds like a total feast for the senses. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. From the southern hemisphere to the northern hemisphere, we've got islands, mountains, bustling cities. But before we jump to the next destination, I'm curious. What are some essential tips for anyone traveling in January? Things they should keep in mind.
That's a great question. First off, pack smart. Think about the weather. We've got destinations with every kind of climate, so being prepared is super important.
Right.
So if you're going somewhere cold like Iceland or Yellowstone, layers, 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 thermal underwear, fleece, a waterproof outer layer, warm hat, gloves, and good waterproof boots. Trust me, you don't want to mess around with the cold.
Okay, that makes sense. What about those warmer destinations like Zanzibar or Penang?
Pack light clothes that breathe, like cotton, linen, anything that dries quickly. Good walking shoes are key too. And of course, don't forget that swimsuit and sunscreen for all those beach days.
Oh, I'm definitely a chronic overpacker, so I will keep that in mind. Now, I've always found that booking my flights and accommodations in advance makes a big difference. Is that something people should consider for January travel as well?
Yeah, for sure. January might be, off season for some places, but it's still a good idea to book early, especially if you're going somewhere popular or you have very specific dates in mind.
Yeah, that makes sense. And not only do you secure your spot, but you might even snag a better price too.
Exactly.
Okay, so winter weather can be pretty unpredictable, even in places that aren't known for, blizzards. How do you recommend people stay flexible, especially when travel plans don't always go as smoothly as we hope?
Flexibility is key, especially in January. Keep an eye on the weather forecasts. Be prepared for some delays, cancellations. Have a backup plan just in case. It's also smart to pack a small carry-on bag with your essentials just in case your checked luggage, gets lost.
You know what? That is a really good tip. It just gives you that peace of mind knowing you have those essential items with you. Now, speaking of being prepared, I know you're a big advocate for travel insurance. Why is that so important, especially when we're talking about January travel?
Travel insurance might not be the most fun part of planning your trip,
Uh-huh.
but it's a lifesaver, especially in the winter when you've got weather disruptions and things like that.
Right.
A good policy can cover you for, missed flights, lost luggage, even unexpected medical expenses.
It's about having peace of mind, knowing you're protected.
Exactly.
I can agree more. Now, we still have a few more destinations to cover.
Yep, we're not done yet. Let's hop over to the Caribbean. How about Puerto Rico?
Oh, Puerto Rico. I've always wanted to go there. The beaches, the food, the history. It's just got it all. So what about January? Good time to go.
You bet. It's the perfect time to escape the winter and just soak up that Caribbean warmth.
Okay, so trade the winter coats for swimsuits. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
But what makes Puerto Rico stand out from all the other, amazing Caribbean destinations?
Well, Puerto Rico's got this really cool mix of cultural experiences and natural beauty that's kind of hard to find anywhere else. You can explore Old San Juan, which is, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, or you can hike through El Yunque Rainforest.
Wait, a rainforest?
Yep, the only tropical rainforest in the U.S. National Forest System. Pretty cool, right? And if you're up for something really magical, you can kayak in a bioluminescent day at night.
Kayaking in a bioluminescent bay. Okay, that's it. Puerto Rico is officially on my list. We've got one more destination to uncover, right?
One more. Ready to crank up the energy.
Always.
Let's head to Brazil. January is the time to celebrate summer there, and they do it in style.
Brazil in January. I'm already imagining the samba music and those carnival celebrations.
It's an experience for sure, but even if you miss Carnival, Brazil in January is amazing.
So what's on the agenda?
Well, first and foremost, beaches. Ipanema, Copacabana, they'll be buzzing this time of year. It's the perfect time to just soak up the sun, play some beach volleyball, just enjoy that vibe.
It's like the quintessential beach getaway. But I know Brazil's got a lot more to offer than just, stunning beaches.
Oh, yeah, for sure. If you're up for an adventure, you could venture into the Amazon rainforest. It's one of the most biodiverse places on the planet.
I'm already picturing myself cruising down the Amazon River, spotting all sorts of incredible wildlife. Okay, wow, we have covered some serious ground in this deep dive. From Melbourne to Iceland, from the Mekong Delta to Penang Island, Yellowstone, Zanzibar, Puerto Rico, and now Brazil. January really does offer something for everyone.
Doesn't it? It's been amazing exploring all these destinations with you.
You know what I love about January travel? It's about embracing that spontaneity, being adaptable, going with the flow. That's often how you end up having the most memorable experiences. So as we close out this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a thought. Think about all these incredible destinations, all the possibilities January has to offer, and ask yourself, what kind of adventure are you craving? What's calling to you?
That's a great question to end on. Just remember, let your wanderlust be your guide. Adventure is out there waiting to be discovered, even in January.
Perfectly said. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the best January travel destinations. We hope you're feeling inspired to start planning your next adventure. Remember, the world is waiting to be explored. Happy travels.